Guys, welcome back today. On this video, I'm going to do a little side-by-side comparison just to give you the physical difference in size between the 11500 versus the 12,000. So let's get started. So on the 11500, the width of it as it stands is 29.5. The height on this one is 26.5, and the depth of this one is 23 without the wheels. With the wheels, it is 29 inches. Whereas the 12,000 DF, the width of it is 34 inches by the height of 33. And the depth of it is funny. The frames by itself are both 23 inches deep, but with the wheels, it is 31 inches deep on the 12,000 DF. Some of the other physical differences, engine-wise, versus on the 11500 versus the 12,000 DF. This is a single cylinder 533 cc motor versus the 12,000 DF is a twin cylinder 713 cc. And with that, there is a weight difference of 230 for the 11500 versus 350 for the 12,000 DF. And then sound-wise, they're both loud. I think they're both like 70 to 75 decibels for each one of them. It's an open frame. It's going to be loud. It's not like an inverter. Another difference on this one, this tank is 9.5 gallons for you folks that are using gasoline, whereas the 12,000 is 10.5 gallons. And then as far as wattage wise, the 12,000 DF is rebadged now as the WGEN 14500, and they have it already set for natural gas as well. Using those numbers, we have on this one, obviously the gasoline is 11,000 or 11,500 running to 14.5, as you can see. There you go. Propane is 10,500 with a peak wattage of 13,500. Nat gas on this one is 9,500 versus 12,000. Whereas the 12,000 DF slash 14,500, those numbers are 14,500 on gasoline with a max of 18,000. Propane is 16,000 max, 13 running, and for nat gas it is 11,600 running and 14,400 max. Now take note, in order to achieve those levels, you are not going to get 18,000 watts out of just that 50 amp. Okay, you're going to have to utilize these other outlets in order to achieve those numbers. So it looks good, super good on paper, right? But I don't want it to, I wish they would say that in their, put an asterisk by it saying that you have to utilize all these, because 50 amp is 50 amp regardless. You're not going to get more than that. So in order to get the total wattage, you're going to have to use a 50, a couple of the 20s, and maybe a 30 in order to achieve those levels. Same thing on this end. You got to use multiple outlets in order to achieve that level as well. Now for this one, if you're using nat gas and you're using a 50 only, you should get the 12,000 max, 9,500 running. Okay, that's about the correct numbers for a 50 amp, pretty darn close to it. But yeah, so a couple other features let's go over. Like they have a dial for gas, natural gas, propane, and then gasoline for this one here. Whereas on the 12,000 DF, I think on the 12,000 DF there's only 2 modes, so you need to go gasoline, propane, flip the switch. Whereas on the 14,500 there's a dial as well. Let's see some of the other features. Obviously, this one has an oil filter versus this one does not have an oil filter, like I said in my previous unboxing video. So it has a screen on this one. And then as far as this one, the oil filter is on the other side of the generator, on the back side of it. And then this one has like a sponge type air filter, like you see in most of the generators. Whereas this one, fortunately I got them too close together. This one has like an actual like car filter that's up in here that you have to take out. You can unclip and then unclip the cover and it comes out. Okay folks, so I took the air filters out on both of these. Here's the filter that's on the 11500. So you can see it's just the sponge type filter. It's like most basic generators. Whereas this one looks more like a car filter. And like I said, there's 4 clips, two on each side. You unclip it, take the cover off, then you can remove the filter. Whereas this one has a cover and there's a locking tab up on the top of it. Okay folks, so on this other side, on the engine side of the 2 generators, as you can see, that's the air box for the 11500. And like I said, the air box is up here underneath that cover, right above the label on the 12000DF. And then also on this side of the 12000DF, you have your regulators. That's your propane regulator down here. They also have a Garrison regulator down the bottom. Whereas this one, the 11500, the regulator is in the front that controls nat gas and propane. So they have a digital, or actually electronic controller where the dial switches that controls this probably has some sort of solenoid to control for the different pressure differences between nat gas and propane. Shutoff valve. There's a shutoff valve on this one, is on the 11500. That's on the side, whereas the gas shutoff valve on the 12000DF is on the front side. It's on the actually just to the left of the control panel. They both have fuel filters. You can see that little. Let's see. That's the fuel filter for the 12000DF/14500. And the fuel filter for the 11500 is on the engine side. And there's the shutoff valve for this one. And then also another feature, since this is a smaller engine, since it's a single cylinder, it has a pull start. Whereas the twin cylinder 713cc does not. So this is all electronic start only. So you gotta have your battery charged on this one. Whereas this one, you can probably get away with it not having the battery charged and still be able to start it. And then this is the CO sensor for it, whereas the 12000DF does not have one. I think there is a version that came out after that does have it, but my generator, this particular version, does not have it. It was when I bought it. It was not required yet. Now it's required to have the CO sensor. All right, folks, so on this back side of this 12000DF, behind this plate is the Garrison regulator. And then up here, that's the second spark plug for this twin engine. The oil filter is right there. And that's just the oil lines for the engine. I think it's an oil cooler for it. And see, obviously that's the muffler on that one. On the 11500, you have your carburetor there, that's your air box, and spark plug is only on the back side of it since it's a single cylinder. Obviously you have the muffler on this one as well. All right, so now we're on the alternator side, also stator side of the generator. That is the exhaust for the muffler right there on the 12000DF, and that is the stator or alternator. And then you have, let's see, what else do we have back here? We have the AVR that controls the voltage, automatic voltage regulator. And then that red button is for, I believe, the remote pairing on the little remote push remotes that come with the generator. And you can see here's the rubber mounts for the stator for vibration purposes. And as you can see, this the wheel for this one clips in the same way, just like the 11500 with the pin as all, and then has a little washer. And then on this one, same thing. We have the muffler on that, obviously a little smaller. And let's see, here's the stator for that one. That in itself is smaller as well, obviously, smaller engine. And the mounts are different for this generator versus the other one. See how these are angle mounts, and there's none on the bottom. They're all to help the vibration as well. And then on this one, the remote pairing is right there. The AVR for this one is inside this blue cover. And now I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, on both of these generators, I have stickers on them that say floating neutral. Floating neutral on this one as well. Reason being is I hook up my generator to my breaker panel, and since the breaker panel is already grounded, you do not need the generator to be grounded to the frame. So that's why I have a floating neutral instead of a bonded neutral on that part. All right, folks, so I hope this little side-by-side size comparison and feature comparison helps you if you're undecided between the two of these, which one to get. So I hope it helps. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.